Hello everybody, how y'all doing today? I'm Elementalist, and welcome to today's vlog. It's been a couple of days since the Independent Day vlog, and I'd like to say that there are a couple of things that are happening right now that are pretty good. First and foremost, the update is I am now gold with all the accounts that matter to me, and then some, I believe. So, now it's time for me to move on with the project. There are other projects for me to work on, like getting one to platinum at least, hopefully by the end of this season. That's what I'm aiming for because it's just a passion of mine, and I'd like to say, wow, look at this. I'm actually really good at something besides being good at absolutely nothing. Uh, Another thing that I'm thinking about a lot recently, though, besides, League of Legends and Diablo and writing and getting myself launched in all these areas, YouTube, Facebook, WordPress, the blog, um, is I've been on my downtime, in whatever time that I have, I've been actually watching quite a bit of Netflix, and I've been thinking a lot about how superheroes were made and meant to become. If you take the classic hero like Batman and compare it to somebody like, let's just say, Goku, of course Goku is going to be stronger, faster, and etc. But the way the Batman is built means that Batman, no matter in what situation, will always rise above the situation. He's taken every situation that's thrown at him, adapted, and then performed and excelled in every one of them. Most notably for Batman, the idea of preserving the villains and making them atone for their misdeeds is very important. Whereas Goku is somebody who's a natural born fighter, a talented fighter, a fighting genius that pushes the limits of his body to achieve what no man or being can achieve in the universe. So if you take those two situations and put them in together, most likely Batman will always kind of win, just because of the fact that Batman has more ways to overcome a situation, if you will. So, uh, and I've been thinking about it, and the way Batman built his characteristics and stuff. He's homegrown, which means he has his own city, Gotham City, the city where there's crime rampant about, but he's trying to correct it. There are a lot of things happening there that constitute to his character, like that makes him who he is. For example, the death of parents, using the grief of loss to propel yourself into something bigger and better than yourself, possibly your species, one would argue. And the reason why he's overcome a lot of situations is you take key elements of who he is and what he does. It's a homegrown hero versus an alien hero. You'll always, it feels like it's like the Earthling's last hope to win. Batman has used the pain of loss to evolve, if you will, to something more powerful than man, reaction wise, fighting, all that stuff. So the older he gets, the more powerful he gets, apparently. And that's just part of what makes Batman evolve, adapt, and evolve some more. Speaking of evolution, that the whole storyline of how he evolved to what he is today, there's more of a homegrown feel to him. So let's just take some in a universe where it's actually relevant, like Batman versus Superman. Batman always wins versus the Superman because Batman keeps kryptonite on him, and he knows when to utilize kryptonite and knows how to out strategize. So plan out and strategize better than Superman, and therefore that's what wins the fight. Using all your surroundings, using all your noticeable atmosphere, and like a natural evolution of, fighting to fight somebody much stronger than you. So I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, wow, that's kind of like how vigilante justice is kind of evolved from, because there are wrongs that some people can't right. They look towards. I'm taking it apart now and applying it to real world, right? So there are wrongs that people can't right, and they need to take matters into their own hands. But the person who take matters into their own hands have to have a heart of gold. When the person is succeeding, more and more people will say, "Oh, the character is built up. You rely on these core areas of justice, like don't harm anybody, only do what needs to be done, protect people if you can, and etc. and etc." Right? So, with that being said, if Batman keeps on being Batman, and that's what he perpetuates in his persona, then even though something happens and people don't see it, they're like, "Oh, Batman is protecting the city." They start to believe in it. Now, when other people of power, people who are currently in power, are trying to, or currently have some power, are trying to ride off the coattails of this giant character that this person has formed, what happens there is people don't show the same restraint, don't show the same pattern, don't show the same understanding of humanity as somebody like the original Batman does, or the original Vigilante, of course. And then from there on, whatever is built can easily be destroyed by people being a pretender. So all in all, what I'm trying to say is, it takes a lot to become that person where you're just the number one of, not the number one, but you perpetuate these personality traits. You try to like sift them through socially, like always try to be the best person you can be, try not to hurt people, try to let people understand, at the same time lead by example. If people hurt you, kind of show your true reaction to it and tell them I'm sorry, be apologetic enough in order to move on. Because what's the use of having these tools to communicate if we can't link to one another? So a lot of the times when I'm thinking about these core issues, I'm thinking, wow, if society was built on such principle, where did it stray off to? And then it needs more people to be the face of the new principle so people can see it. So the areas of operating, like of how you operate in core personality values, like people have their secrecy and people stand in public and try to help out or try to do the right thing. But the core values have to have a face to them. If they have no face, then it could be super projected into some greater being, like a hero or a superhuman or a supervillain or whatever the case is. So that was what I was thinking of, and I wanted to write a story, or I wanted to write a critique of how socially we accept the Batman for who he is, and how unacceptable he is, and we need to tear down the little personality traits that create this type of persona in society, and really analyze it and make it what that is a huge hit as it is today. Because if there were heroes of the Western world, you'll always hear of like Superman, Batman, etc. I was always a Superman type of person, because I thought, oh wow, somebody who has strength, power, and use it for good, shows restraint, works with the people, is much more in line with what I see than Batman. But I do see like the amount of injustice that there is in class segregation, ethnocentrism, all that other stuff. So that's why I feel like when there is time, like each one of us write our own story and writes our own paths in life. And whichever steps we do decide to take, I hope that we will take a step that we know the repercussions for, and are ready to anticipate for that. At the very end of the day, uh, some of us are luckier than others, and I really wish that everybody had an even playing field to do what they want, and that's when the world can really progress. Like, everybody follow their dreams and put their ideas on the line, not afraid to fail, that sort of thing. And of course, there is playing the game to survive as well. So, well, I've certainly ranted a lot about Batman, how he is socially versus, Superman and even Goku in some aspects, but I was just taking a bit of core ideas and really deconstructing what makes the Batman character so popular. Anyway, going back to video gaming though, I realize that I have a huge amount of respect for people who are professional players. Like, you have to get it into your head to give them this respect they deserve, because if you enjoy something and you have a moment of prowess, of like mental prowess, of outplaying prowess in certain matches like League of Legends, one has to understand that pro players have to have that prowess for 30 to 40 minutes a time, no matter what, and learn how to outplay their opponents rather than, be like, oh, what should I do now, and etc. And that's a lot of the reasons why I'm so confident in my ability to play, because I go in cycles. Some cycles I play reactionary, but sometimes I'm just like, oh, look at me, I'm like such a good Pantheon, I could do whatever I want in the top lane and not do bad. And I think that comes with a bit of practice and a bit of just knowing how to execute your moves with such precision that you'll get like 100% hit. And it's not only with that hero, with any other hero, actually. So now that I notice it, I'm probably getting into the mode of being a really good player again. So you might see some good plays coming out of me in like the weeks to come. But of course, I'm still learning, and I can't just go in waltz in all confidently against other people. I actually have to kind of learn and look at the damage that I do versus the damage that they do, and etc., etc., and really evaluate how to play a certain hero. That goes into the research that you have to do, like just number crunching and see what you can do with the numbers. Anyway, that was a long update. I'm off for now. I hope y'all enjoyed it. In the end, I'm hoping that at least one of my projects succeed. And I hope y'all enjoyed this update. I'll be back with more. I'm trying to make it a daily thing, but it's kind of difficult because there's a lot of stuff happening, and I'm trying to write stuff, and then I stop writing stuff and I try new ideas. And I'm also picking up another project because I'm not at the pinnacle of my health right now. I wish I was, but I'm not. So I'm trying to do things to keep me active, to keep my head on the game, and to extend whatever physical and mental prowess I have left of my prime years. So, but I could tell you that I'm performing actually in really, really good shape, and I'm only still getting better. There's sometimes you hit a wall, and then you just have to keep doing your thing until you break through that wall, and I'm really close to breaking through that wall again. So I'm pretty happy about it. Anyway, that's it for this update. I said this like 5 times already, but I keep just piling things on. So, in lieu of hopefully this will not make it longer, so I'm gonna just cut it off right here. Until the next update, keep on being positive. Keep on being that positive beacon of awesomeness that you guys and gals are. This is me signing out, and I will see you next time.